둘, 셋, 파!
안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Bethany, and this is Standing BTS.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome to another wonderful episode where we get to hang out for about an hour and just talk about BTS.
What a wonderful hour it is too. But disclaimer, this is a comedy fangirl podcast. That means that we're going to fangirl, laugh, and learn a little bit along the way.
Yep, that's right. This is an explicit podcast, though, so if you aren't cool with that, you can dip out now. We won't blame you.
Totally. But if you're down for some, Jimin is a powerful fucking CEO coming for all of our asses.
Oh, it's so true, though. Or Namjoon in a turtleneck sweater absolutely ruins me.
Turtleneck daddy.
Yeah.
Then you're in the right place. Okay, so since the third season of Run BTS returned last week with an amazing episode, today we decided to do a second episode in the Run replay series. But before we get into it, we have to thank you wonderful armies for being here and for supporting us. If you're a fan of this show and you want to show your support for us, you can do that by telling people about the podcast or by writing a review on iTunes or really whatever platform you listen on. And if you want to go above and beyond and show some extra support for us, you can do that by donating monthly to our Patreon at patreon.com/standingbts.
Or if you'd like, you can make a one-time donation at paypal.me/standingbtspodcast. Your support helps us to improve the quality of our content and to continue putting out weekly episodes. And again, any type of support from you guys is super appreciated.
Yes, help us get an editor.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'm making Corey edit the podcast.
Oh my God.
So after this recording is done, I'm actually going to teach Corey how to edit the podcast.
Oh, that's so cool.
He's going to have time to do it. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today we're doing another Run replay. So if you maybe missed the first episode or you're new to the podcast, the Run replay series is a series where Kayla and I both choose one of our favorite Run episodes, which is like all of the Run episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically recap its events along with some of our favorite moments.
Mm-hmm. So you should go first this time.
Yeah. I don't even know if I went first last time or if I went second, but I feel
have
like
no
I go
idea.
Second a fair amount.
You always go second. And it's been ages, so who knows who said what. But go ahead. Tell me about your choice.
So the episode I chose is episode 51. And their 50th episode is actually that episode where they are all getting awards for certain things throughout the Run series. So their 51st episode is like a special add-on to that where they go to Lotte World and they ride, amusement park rides together. And it's really cute. Reason I chose this episode is because I think it's a pretty popular one. It's also just so cute and funny to watch all of them ride these amusement rides together. Like, they look like they're all having such a fun time and they're actually enjoying themselves. So I thought, this would be a good one. Plus, since we just had our 50th podcast episode, I was like, why not do their 50th Run episode? Or I guess it's their 51st, but it's like a celebration of their 50th Run episode.
Yeah, that's cute. That's so nice.
Yeah. So, as always, at the beginning, they split into 3 teams. And so it's team A, B, and C. So they don't have like team names like they usually make up. So who gets assigned to team A is Taehyung and Jungkook. And all 3 teams have like these 3 different headwears that they're supposed to have on. So team A gets the frog headbands. So Taehyung and Jungkook are wearing frog headbands. So the other teams are Jimin and Jen, and they have these bunny rabbit eared headbands. And then there's Yoongi, J-Hope, and Namjoon. So the rap line all got assigned together. And they have these like Shiba Inu headgear things. Like it wraps around their chin and like Velcros at their chin.
Cute.
It's really cute to
Yeah.
see them all wearing this. So in this episode, they have these 3 different rides that they have to ride. And on each ride, they have to complete some sort of mission. And then at the end, instead of getting a punishment, the winning team gets a prize. And the prize is worth 500,000 won. And when they announced this to the members, like all of the members, their eyes grow like 3 sizes. They look so shocked that the prize is worth that much money. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's so cute because like they're all obviously loaded, but they're still like super shocked, and it's just cute and humble to see them react this way to that.
Yeah. I had to look that up just because I was curious, and 500,000 won in USD is like $445. Like, that's a sizable prize, you know? Like, I would be really excited for that too.
Do you remember what the prize is? I'll say it at the end, but...
Yeah,
like,
save it.
Yeah, I'll save it. It's really cool what they got. So, anyways, so the first mission that they have to do is on this ride that they call the pirate ship. So it's a pirate ship, and it's one of those rides that swings back and forth, but it gets pretty high up in the air. And so for their first mission, they have to sit across from each other on this pirate ship. So one member sits at the top on one side, and the other member sits on the top on the other side. And the premise of the mission is that one member has to get the other member to guess a word by using other words. And what makes this kind of challenging is that, 1, they're riding this like thrill ride, and 2, they basically have to shout to each other. Like the person describing the word has to shout to the other member, and it's really amusing to watch. So the first team to go, they play rock, paper, scissors, and the first team to go is Taehyung and Jungkook. So before they even get on the ride, Jungkook says, "Let's get it," like he always does. And it's really goofy to see Taekook just like feed off each other like this. Like they start dancing and beatboxing to Boom Boom Pow after he says, "Let's get it." And it's just funny. But so for their words, the first word is yodel, which Jungkook is the one who's trying to get Taehyung to guess the word. So he's describing it. And he pretty much fucks up right from the start because he says yodel, and he's like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have said that. So they have to pass up that word. And then the next word that they get is actually kind of a sentence. It's a Run BTS 50th episode special. And it takes a little bit, but Jungkook gets Taehyung there and he guesses it. And then the next word is French fries, and Jungkook says hamburger, and then he says side dish, and Tae like immediately guesses French fries.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's just a good way to describe it.
It is a really good way to describe it. And Taehyung gets it like pretty quickly. And then the last word is square. And they basically rocked this shit. Like they just fed off each other really well. The editors, they like typed in like in the like those brackets that they have where they just add in extra comments. They said perfect chemistry. And it's just true because they rocked this shit. So then the rap line goes, and it's really cute because Jungkook, like, he really enjoyed himself on the ride, so he asked the director if he can ride again, like, just with them and not play. And the director says that he can. And so when he runs to go up and get on it, Taehyung and Jin see him, and they're like, oh, yeah, we want to ride it too. And it's so sad because it leaves Jimin behind, like, all by himself, and he looks kind of like a lost puppy. Like, what just happened?
Oh, no, baby.
Yeah, I know. He's like, wait, what? But it's okay. He does fine. So Hobie and Yoongi are the ones guessing, and June is the one explaining. And Jin also is, like, writing next to Namjoon, and then Taekook are writing next to Soap. So the first word that June is trying to describe to Soap is shabu shabu, which is a type of meat. And he basically ends up passing this one because Soap, they like ramble off all sorts of meat, like bacon, sausage, ham, and June cannot get them to guess it. But while this is all happening, Yoongi and J-Hope are just completely terrified, and they're just screaming on top of their lungs, like they are not having a good time. But also Yoongi, I think, is kind of just laughing. But June passes up that word. So their next word is camera director, and this is the only word that they get. They guess director pretty quickly, but it takes them a while to finally figure out that it's camera director is the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So then the next word, which is probably my favorite word that they had to guess, is kiwi, because of this Yoongi Namjoon interaction that's happening. So Yoongi keeps guessing the word watermelon, and June keeps telling him, like, it's smaller than that. And even though he said that, Yoongi continues to guess watermelon. And you can just see the frustration in June's face. Like, his eyes get so wide. His mouth is, like, wide open, like this perfect circle. He's dramatically, like, showing the size of a kiwi with his hands. And it's just too funny. He's like, it's smaller than that. Like, he gets so frustrated. And J-Hope, poor J-Hope, is trying his best. Like, he's trying so hard. But he's just so terrified. No. But he's like saying apple, grape, all these other like green fruits, but they just get it. So June's like, screw this. He passes the word. So the next word he has to get them to guess is confidence. And he says, you don't have this right now, which I think is a really good way to like hint at it. But Soap just scream in unison, courage. Oh. And this is kind of like a thing that they keep saying throughout the episode, because it's just kind of funny that they both are lacking courage because they're just so scared. But they get caught up on the word courage, and they're also just so terrified, and they're just screaming. They're like ready for the ride to be over. They've basically given up. And it's just really cute. But it's interesting to see Taekook right next to them, because these two are just having a blast. Like, they're having such a fun time. And I have to point out this moment because it's just like a Taekook thing. But there's a point where Taeyoung and Jungkook have like their arms up in the air. You know, like just when you ride a roller coaster, you have your arms up in the air. Yeah. But Jungkook's hand like slides on top of Taeyoung's. And Taeyoung almost kind of like reflexively just squeezes Jungkook's hand. Aww. And it's just so cute. I feel like this is a moment that like a fair amount of people know about. Oh yeah, this is a well-known Taekook moment, but I didn't know that it was, or I guess I didn't remember that it was from this episode. So yeah. Aww, yeah. I love that. Yeah. But basically, in the end, they only got that one word right. June just looks so frustrated. But I have to mention this too. This is like iconic. I know we say iconic all the time, but this is fucking iconic. So the editors for Run BTS, J-Hope at the end of the ride, like as it's coming to an end and it's starting to slow down, he just claps his back, like he just falls into Yoongi's shoulder, his head back, his eyes closed, and they edited in the like Macintosh powering off noise, like when you log off, and they like filtered it like black and white, and it looks like his like soul is coming out of him, like he just looks done. And they put like in the little brackets like J-Hope just logged off. God, one of the things that makes Run BTS so amazing is like their editing, because they're not afraid to like make jokes or like to do like meme shit like that. And that's fucking hilarious. Yeah. So Jimin and Jin are the next ones to go, and Taekook is riding with them, but Taeyoung moves over to sit next to Jimin, which is cute. And June decides to ride again because he just wants to enjoy himself. So he's sitting next to Jin, and the first word they get is Mona Lisa. And Jimin is just freaking out this whole time. Like, he is not about this roller coaster ride. He is terrified of the pirate ship. And he's just like, he doesn't even look at Jin at all. Like, his face is completely the other way. He's clutching onto Tae's hand. And they do not get a single word. Not a single word. And I feel so bad for, like, Jimin, because he's clearly terrified and wants to get off this ride. And I also feel bad for Jin, because Jin, He literally shouts because he's so fed up. He's like, I want to find a new team. Like, he's so done with it.
Oh, no.
But Jimin is just like, poor baby boy. Like, he's just curled up. So they have all these different words, but they don't get any of them. And it's funny because Jin just looks so fed up and frustrated. Like, he's like all red-faced, and his like, you can see the like veins and muscles in his neck just popping out as he's shouting, trying to get Jimin to guess these. But Jimin is just too scared to even try.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine Jin just being so mad. But yeah, Jimin, I mean, if you're like afraid of roller coasters and you have to get on one, even if it's just a small ride like that, like people have serious like reactions, you know? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does better on the other rides. It's just the pirate ship.
He just hates the pirate ship.
He hates the pirate ship.
That's such a baby ride, Jimin.
I know. It's interesting because they ride it like a roller coaster ride, and he does fine on that one. So it's funny.
Jimin, why? He's
it's
just sabotaging the game.
He could be. You know he would.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to let the other members win, and Jin is not about it.
Sure.
So at the end, the scores, Taekook have 4 points, the rap line has 1 point, and Jimin and Jin have 0 points because they didn't guess any. So the second mission is this flume ride, which is a pretty laid back ride, you know, like it's just a easy going water ride with a couple drops. So during one of the falls, like where one of the drops are, there's a camera that takes a picture of you. And so for this mission, each member has to blow a bubble with bubble gum and get it on camera, basically, in the picture. And so Namjoon apparently does not know how to blow a bubble, so he does not partake in this challenge. And I feel so bad for June because all of them like ride one time through before starting so that they can locate the camera. And they make Namjoon ride by himself in his own boat. And it's so sad, but it's cute too because he's basically being isolated from the others because he can't blow a bubble. And it's so funny because every time it shows like his camera on his log flume ride when he's riding, every time it goes to his footage, it starts to play this like really adorable music. It kind of reminds me of like the tunes that you hear on Animal Crossing.
Oh my god!
But it's just so sad. Like he just got shunned from everyone.
You're like saying it's sad, but I am like laughing so hard. Like when we got to this part of the notes and I read what as you were reading, I was like trying to stifle my laughter so hard because I can just see him just like Moonchild just sitting in this log plume by himself, just like straight arms down, no reaction to the camera, no reaction to the ride, just alone. And I don't know why. It's just the fact that they put this in there. It's just too funny.
Yeah, I love that they put this in there. So Jin and Jimin are the first ones to go, and they both do a really good job. Like they blow their bubbles before the actual drop, so they're like super prepared. However, Jin's bubble popped in the middle of the drop, so he thinks that he maybe failed the mission, but we later find out that it popped just barely after the picture was taken, so they actually ended up passing and doing well for their mission. Of course, Jimin does his mission perfectly. He just looks super happy, probably just because he's not on that ship ride anymore. But he did it really well. And it's funny because during his ride too, like during the log ride, Jimin is just like, why was I so scared of the ship? Like he's just trying to think of why he was so terrified on that ride. But I didn't talk about anything that the members are wearing in this just because of time. But I have to point out Jin's outfit because it fucking ruins me. So Jin is wearing this sporty black headband and his forehead is completely exposed. And he has like this, obviously his long ass neck, like totally exposed. He's in like an all black outfit. Like he looks sporty and he's got his, dark brown hair, and he looks handsome, but like sporty and hot and sexy. And just have to point it out, I'm probably going to post it on Instagram after we record because it's fine. So the next ones to go are Taehyung and Jungkook. So when they go down the drop, they're like, of course, being cool about it. And Taehyung's like, hey, we should do this pose. So they're like, okay. So when they're going down, they're doing this pose where they have one hand behind their head. And it kind of looks like they're just like coolly lounging against the log flume while they're going down. And it's cute because the editors play this like sexy music behind the footage of them doing this. But they actually do not pass this mission because their bubbles are too small. And they said that they couldn't tell if it was their teeth or a bubble. What? But I feel like it's clearly a bubble, but they said too small to be a bubble. So then the last ones to do the log flume ride is the rap line. So as the ride starts, Namjoon just asks to the other two, like, why can't I blow a bubble? And Yoongi sasses back, we don't know. Like, we don't know why you can't blow a bubble. But of course, after he says this, he shows Namjoon how to do it, which is like total Yoongi to like give him shit about it, but then like be caring enough to show him how to do it. Mm-hmm. So then he tries to make a bubble, and it's just really pathetic. Like, it's not a bubble, but he's trying so hard. So when the drop comes for them, Namjoon is sitting in the back, and he's just like coaching Soap through it. Like, the drop's coming up. Gotta start blowing now. Blow, blow, blow. And I have no idea why, but Namjoon is just like killing me with cuteness in this episode. Like, he's just so adorable. But they end up passing their mission. So Yoongi, he falls forward and his head kind of drops between his legs because he's like scared. Mm-hmm. But he does end up blowing a bubble, and it pops just right after the camera takes the picture. So it's kind of like what happened with Jin. And J-Hope does it perfectly, but his eyes are just like so wide. Like, you can tell he's trying his best to keep it together.
I bet he is.
Oh, yeah. So at the end, the rap line is winning with 6 points, and then followed by Taehyung and Jungkook with 5, and then Jimin and Jin with 3. So for the very last ride, it's their third mission, and it's called French Revolution, which is like this, basically like a roller coaster, like your typical roller coaster that has like loops and spins and all that. So Jungkook and Taehyung go first. So for this mission, they have to memorize a sentence while riding the roller coaster. And then at the end, each of the members have to like alternate saying the words of the sentence and get it correctly together.
Okay.
So Jungkook and Tae go first, and Jungkook and Tae like don't even really react to the ride. They're just like trying to memorize this sentence over and over again, especially Taehyung. Like, he's just reading his piece of paper and repeatedly saying it over and over. But in the end of the two, like, Taehyung was definitely practicing more than Jungkook. Mm-hmm. And he's, of course, the one who messed up. Like, I felt so bad for him. And like, Jungkook kind of jokingly grabs his jacket, like threateningly, like, are you serious? Like, he's so frustrated.
Yeah, like, dude, you were looking at this the whole time.
Yeah. So Jimin and Jin go next. And this I thought was really impressive because Jimin, right at the beginning, like, you can see he's like memorizing the words. And it doesn't take very long before he kind of puts the paper down and he just like enjoys the rest of the ride. Like, he memorizes it like pretty quickly. And I'm like, wow, Jimin, so smart. But Jin is pretty much hilarious during this because he's just kind of like J-Hope, where he likes to scream and scream and scream. So all the members who are like waiting back at the station, like where they go off, they can just hear Jin screaming, and Jungkook is like mocking his scream perfectly. But Jimin, of course, is like screaming too, and they're just really cute. And Jin's trying his best to stay focused and memorize it. But when they go back, Jin is the one who actually forgets. And he straight up just goes, Jimin, I'm sorry. And he just like walks away. Like, he's like, I couldn't do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So then the last ones to go are the rap line. And Namjoon and Yoongi, they rode in the front. And then Jin and like Taekook, they all like wanted to ride again. So Jin rides with J-Hope, and then Taekook go to like the far back of the train because they're too cool, and they ride in the very back. And so Jimin stays behind, but he assures Army that it's because he's exhausted and that he's not scared. So he just stays back by himself again.
Yeah. Okay.
So for all of them, you can see them look at the paper. Like at some point, you see them like look down to memorize these words or this sentence. And Namjoon, I swear, never looked at the paper once. Like they don't have any footage of it. So I guess he looked at it like one time and he remembered it, or they just like never showed him looking at it. But I'm like, man, did he just like look at it one time and remember it? Like, I wouldn't be surprised, right?
Probably.
But really the whole time, every time it shows Namjoon, he's just enjoying the ride. Like, he's just sitting back, enjoying the ride. Like, I swear, you don't see him look at the paper once. But Yoongi and J-Hope, they, of course, were screaming the entire time. And Yoongi was able to practice memorizing the words a couple of times. But J-Hope, this poor boy, like, he's pretty much scrunched back as far as he can in the seat, like, the entire time. And he gets a couple chances to, like, try to memorize it. But really, the whole time, he's just so scared. And then there's, like, Jen next to him who isn't helping. But when they get back, they do that sound effect again for J-Hope, where it's just, like, that logging off Macintosh noise. And they just keep playing this over him. Like, poor boy. But when they're pulling into the station, Taekook, they're both like shouting. They're being little shits. They're like shouting all these random words, like trying to throw them off and like mess them up. But they are the only team out of the 3 teams who are able to say the entire sentence together. And I think their sentence was actually longer than the others. I could be wrong. But they all say it like perfectly their first time around. So they're the only ones who were able to complete this mission. So the rap line won with 11 points.
Wow.
And then followed by Jimin and Jin with 5 and Taeyang and Jungkook with 4. So at the end, they get to open up their prize, the rap line do. And they all got a ramen cooker. So, of course, this gets to be for all of them. It's not just for the rap line. So they get to do the ramen. They all get to cook their ramen with the ramen cooker. And it's really cute because they show it at the end. Like, just like extra footage at the end of the episode where they're using the ramen cooker. So that's really cool to get to see them all use it. But they were all just so excited, and it's just adorable and perfect. And I really just love this episode because it's so fun, because you can tell they're all just having a fun time and enjoying themselves, even though they kind of like are scared. They're still laughing, and they're laughing at each other. They're laughing at themselves, and it's a good one. And I think it was so fun that they did this for their 50th special episode.
Like they got to go and have a ton of fun together, like at an amusement park. Like, what is better? And it really seemed like they had a fun time. And honestly, like a ramen cooker, that's such a fun prize.
Oh yeah, I would use that.
And it's a total like Run BTS prize.
How much did you say it was?
Oh, like $445. Does it look like a $445 ramen cooker?
You know, it looks nice, but I don't think I would pay. I don't think I would pay that much for it.
Well,
but if you live the kind of luxurious life that BTS does, then yeah.
Yeah, but also
and you eat ramen as often as they do.
It just seems like the perfect Run BTS prize, because even when they get prizes with Run BTS, they're like not that great. You know what I'm talking about? They're just like really basic prizes. So, I mean, yeah.
So anyways, that was the episode I chose.
Okay. I love that episode. It's been a long time since I've even like thought about that episode. So thank you for reminding us about it.
Yeah. All right. So what about you?
So my episode is Run episode 28, and this is from November 21st, 2017. So I'm throwing it way back with this one. And
wow.
Yeah. And this episode is called Welcome to Your First MT, second episode. So MT is a term in Korea that stands for membership training. And this is from a website, and the author is named Stephen Bammel. And he says that membership training is basically a retreat where a group of people from an organization go away together for a day or more and carry out a variety of group bonding activities and training activities. And he also said that these activities often involve drinking. Of course, they don't in this episode of Run, but they often do. And many people in Korea have fun anecdotes about their MT days in university or with work. So just a interesting tidbit.
Background information.
New.
Yeah. Cool.
So this episode is actually part 2 of their MT. In the first episode, they played a BTS themed Monopoly style game. And during that episode, they divided into teams and they were playing for barbecue items. And the one kind of thing was once an item was claimed, another team could not have it. And the teams that they had in that episode carry into this episode.
Okay.
So why I chose this episode. Again, just like the first time that we did this, it's just one of those episodes that I always think of and kind of regard as my top favorites. And I don't want to spoil anything, but there's so many moments in this specific episode that really speak to me personally, as a person and as an army, and more than I'll be able to touch on today just because of time's sake, but it really has a range of hilarity and feels. So anyways,
okay,
let's get into it.
Yeah.
Also, in this episode, they're all wearing those grubby Jungkook shirts, like that picture from Bon Voyage 2 with the straw hat and the red shirt.
Yeah, the one where his hat is covering just his face, and so around his mouth area it got tanned, but the rest of his face didn't. Yeah. Cute.
Yep. Okay, so the premise of this episode is there are 3 teams, and each team is going to perform a talent show. Each group will select a karaoke song to sing, and the team with the highest score from the karaoke machine will win extra food. And I just want to preface this with, I don't know if this specific karaoke machine, but BTS, in their minds, when they filmed this episode, thought that the louder you are on a karaoke machine, that just meant the higher score you were going to get.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
amazing.
Or at least the team that Namjoon was on did. So, the first performance is by Team Ro Jewel, and this is Yoongi and Taeyoung. So they said that they wanted to create an upbeat mood. So Taeyoung, by the way, they have all these props and outfits to put on. So Taeyoung dons this obnoxious multicolored clown wig and these silly joke shop glasses. They make him look like he has beady black eyes with big eyebrows, but they have a big round blue frame. They're just really oversized glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So Yoongi just put on a nice thick pair of black glasses, and they select to perform New Face by Psy, which was pretty relevant at the time of this show's release. It's also from 2017. So, anyways, this performance is wild and it's really enhanced by the chemistry of Taegi. Is it Taegi or Taegi? I think it's Taegi.
Yeah, Taegi.
Okay. So for example, in this episode, they dab at the same time multiple times.
Or do they? Oh, cute.
Yeah. There's also a moment where Taeyoung is facing the karaoke machine and Yoongi has his back to it and he's walking towards the other wall, and they're doing the same kind of walking dance move with their body just without even looking at each other. And it's not part of the choreography of the song because I watched the video and it's not in that part. So
so they're
anyways.
just like-minded. They're just doing the same shit. They're feeling the song the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. But in this performance, singing is like really an afterthought because they're dancing with the choreography in just like this over the top, really funny way. However, they still do make an effort, and Taeyoung like begins the first verse and he immediately has fun with it. And hype man Yoongi is in the background. But like when the chorus hits, they both sing out and they both sing loud, so loud. Like, okay, the problem is that at this moment, Taeyoung dramatically rips off these joke glasses to reveal a beautifully furrowed brow.
The best. The best.
Oh my God. Amazing. And the camera shot gets him from like kind of a side angle, like off to the right. So you're just like, oh, you fucking God. Like, you're so fucking handsome.
And you know he's like doing it jokingly, but we're all like being fucking destroyed by looking at it. Yeah.
Yes. He's like totally joking around and being silly, but it's like, oh my God. So the main part of this choreography for this song during the chorus involves a lot of hip thrusting. Think like dope style hip thrusting. And all of this is coming from Taeyoung. So that's happening too.
We're very grateful.
It's a lot. Yeah. So then Yoongi starts to actually get tired from jumping around, and Tae's energy has not wavered at all, but Yoongi is like no longer jumping around. He's kind of like leaning over, like bracing his hands on his knees, and he's just like trying to keep singing. He's just trying to get through it.
Yeah.
Actually, 4 times during this performance, Yoongi like falls to the ground, either out of tiredness or just like laughing, because him and Taeyoung are just having such a good time and just going all out and being crazy.
Yeah.
So during their performance, the other members were just lining the back of the room and they were watching and reacting to them. They were like laughing, and the last part of the song consists of chanting where they say, "Hey, we want some new face." And of course, the other members who are kind of like in the back of the room join in on this part in a call and response style, and they're jumping around and singing with their hands in the air.
That's so cute.
It's just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's so much, but it is the best. You're right. So that performance, it was just over the top, super fun. I'm going to keep their score until the end.
Okay.
Okay.
Too bad they don't get scored on dancing and performing.
I know, right? Because it's not even the producers that are scoring them for this. It's the fucking karaoke machine. Like, whatever pops up.
I'm sure it's so accurate, too.
It just makes it so much funnier.
Yeah.
So the second performance is by Team Kim Seok-jin, which of course has Seok-jin, Namjoon, and Jungkook. And the song that they select is called Memory of Wind, and it's by Naul, or Naul. Sorry, I don't know. All caps. They are a Korean artist, and this is a slow, emotional song. And like they say that they're going for quality and beauty and points because they're gonna like sing this song really well.
Oh, of course.
So Namjoon for this performance has put on this fur-lined crown that has like a red lining, and he's also wearing a red cape, and he has like a king's scepter. So just, think regal as fuck, okay?
Yeah. It suits him really well.
Oh, for sure. So Jin put on these big yellow glasses, like clown style big yellow glasses. They don't have any lenses, but they're just really oversized, kind of like ones you would wear for a photo booth or something. And he also sneakily slid a tiger tail up around his leg, kind of just like as far as he could get it up. I don't know how this is supposed to normally attach to somebody, but it was just like an elastic loop that he just like slid up his leg. He kind of wore it like a low garter a little bit, like just above his knee, tiger tail. Yeah. Kinky.
Yeah.
And then Jungkook put on Tae's clown wig, and then he also wore a tiger striped bow tie. So Namjoon starts off singing, and all the other members sat down on the side of the room just to enjoy this beautiful song. And they soon start chanting Kim Namjoon, Kim Namjoon. Yeah, and they're like waving their arms, like swaying to the beat, although Namjoon's singing is not kind to the ears with this song. It's like, it's not bad to begin with, though. Like, right at the beginning of the song, you can tell he's singing like with his full voice. It's not quite on pitch, but it's like not awful by any means. And Hoseok like kind of looks around at the other members and he's like, it's not too bad. And then he beams at Namjoon, which is just like, so sweet. And him and Jimin wonder how long he can sing before it's too high for Namjoon. So it doesn't take long because right after the initial hook, Namjoon looked at Jin or Jungkook for help, and Cookie takes over, and really like his voice is just so beautiful and even.
Yes.
Yeah, because like Jungkook makes this song seem like it's like a breeze for him, and even though it's in a higher register, he can easily tackle it. And all of the members are sitting down and looking at him with awe, and I just have to point out that especially Taeyoung was. And when we see the shot of Taeyoung looking at Jungkook in this moment, we catch him like mid deep sigh, and it's just like,
oh really?
Yeah. He just like looks at him with stars in his eyes. Like, It was just so sweet.
Don't get me started.
Okay.
I know the look.
So, yeah. So, next, Seokjin comes in and he takes over the chorus, and oh man, it goes downhill quickly. And I actually counted his first 12 syllables are perfectly fine, and the other members even say that they're full of soul. And but we can see a problem in that his veins are already straining in his neck, like like just engorged, and his neck is red, his face is red. It's just like,
I think it's too funny that you counted the 12 syllables before it went bad.
I just had to know, how long did he make it? So it's really funny because the editors, right when this part that I'm about to tell you starts happening, they put this little subtitle that said, "This is the voice of a professional." And right at this moment, he resorts to just flat out screaming like a 2-year-old with fully developed vocal cords, just because the song is so high. And why he just doesn't slip into falsetto, I don't fucking know. But he's being obnoxious. He's also like, him and Namjoon both are just being obnoxious. And I think it's because they think that the louder you are, the higher score you get. Or like at some point during this episode, Namjoon like said that to one of the members. He was like, the old machine 2 years ago, you just had to be loud. So I don't know.
So they went for it. Yeah, they went for that method.
They fucking went for it. Like, that's an understatement. So Jin's screeching is too much for anyone's ears to handle for too long. So Namjoon takes back over, which does not result in a better sound, as one might imagine. He continues to just at the top of his lungs, full chest, like full volume, just as loud as he can be.
Yeah.
Not worrying about what sounds you're making or anything. All of the members are laughing so hard. Yoongi and Jimin are both doubled over on the floor. Yoongi is even like laying down and like curling into Taeyoung's legs. Like he just can't, he's like rolling away. Too funny. Yeah, he just can't even look at it. And even like Jin and Jungkook behind Namjoon start laughing, like even at just how obnoxious Namjoon is being. So this routine of them kind of switching off and Jungkook being beautiful and Jin and Namjoon being a screeching mess kind of goes back and forth until the second verse and like the chorus area. Jin starts singing again and Jimin is like, have you even heard this song? Because he's just singing like he's never heard music before.
Oh.
He's not screaming anymore, but he's just not hitting any notes at all.
Yeah.
And then Namjoon is just sorry. It's so funny watching this episode. I was laughing so hard earlier.
Yeah.
So Jin he's like barely trying anymore. And then Namjoon is still just screeching, like still just like his vocal cords have to hurt. So then to end the song, Jungkook comes in with his soothing and on-pitch voice, which makes us all swoon and just heals the blood pouring from our ears.
Aww.
And he just wraps the song up in like just such a beautiful way, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so the third performance was by Team Ooh-Ah, which is Hoseok and Jimin. And for their performance, Hoseok puts on these big black bushy eyebrows, and Jimin is wearing a black headband under his blonde hair, and he has three whiskers drawn on each side of his face. So Hobie is fucking Rock Lee and Jimin is fucking Naruto. Bethany, I don't know. Do you know Naruto?
No, not really. No, I don't really watch Naruto.
Okay. So let me fill you in just a little bit.
Okay.
Naruto, obviously, he's like the main character.
Uh-huh.
Rock Lee is like a super awesome other character who's like Naruto's peer. And he's like a super positive person. So it's just incredible that Hoseok is Rock Lee.
Uh-huh.
And then Naruto is like a character who like never gives up, also the main character. So anyways, so side note, I haven't said this at all, but this is the first time that I'm talking about Jimin in this episode, just for like time's sake, but he has been looking so fucking cute. I could have pointed him out like 18 times by now this entire fucking episode, because from the beginning, he's had this headband on with these whiskers on his cheeks, and he has been like laughing and like playing around, and he's just been too fucking cute. So now that it's his turn, I have to talk about it.
You finally get to talk about it.
Finally. Okay. So this is why this episode is so great to me personally. Besides the hilarity that has already happened, I fucking love Naruto. Like, it's such a good story. It's such a good anime. I just love that they did it. So the song that they put on is the Korean opening theme song for Naruto, made by the Korean band Buzz. So sidebar, I found that out via a Google search, which led me to a super pixelated YouTube video of the title sequence of this show of Naruto, and the comment section is just full of armies saying that they were there because of Run episode 28.
Oh, that's amazing.
I just think it's so funny. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody's like, what is this Naruto opening? So the way that this song started, the way that this performance started, the second that this song came on, I'm saying the second, right when the first note hit, all the members of BTS dropped down into the classic Naruto running style, which is bent forward at the hip with like arms straight back behind you. I'm sure you've seen this, like it's been like on Vines or like it's been made into memes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the editors edited over like Namjoon slipping into this run position, and they put automatic response, and it was just too funny.
Yeah.
So I love this segment because Jimin and Hoseok are just having the best time. Like, they just love this song. They're just belting it out. They're smiling. They're dancing. They both have like these huge smiles on their faces. And Taeyoung can't help but to sing along as well. The producers like added in a note that said, give him a mic, but he didn't have a mic. But then once the chorus hits, Hoseok and Jimin both start throwing shurikens, which is like the Naruto version of throwing stars. And it's just really, really funny. And at the end of their performance, Jimin is like, I prepared the shurikens for you. He's like, I made these for a performance. Like, that's how good we were. It was just so funny. So just as we can see our Rock Lee and our Naruto getting a little tired during their performance, the hilarious and amazing Kim Seok-jin took a sip of water, ran to the middle of the group and slid down on his knees, and he formed like a hand sign for a water jutsu, which is like how the ninja in Naruto do all of their special ninja moves. They form hand signs, and he formed this like water hand sign and then spit the water out of his mouth in like a mist style, like he was like reenacting like from the show.
Yeah,
it was exactly what they needed, and it was perfectly timed and just hilarious.
I did not know how many Naruto references were like done throughout this performance.
It was literally the whole performance.
Well, I don't watch Naruto, so I wouldn't have known.
Well, now you know.
But this is great that you're like informing me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyways, they're used to the song being shorter for the title sequence. Like, they were like, oh my God, is it ever gonna end? But they powered through. They kept their energy up. Both of them sang well, and they had fun doing it. And like Jimin even like yelled at the end. It sounded so rockerish. Like, he yelled like, yeah, like it was crazy. They were just super, super into it. But anyways, the other members danced around and sang during this song, much like they did in the other ones. But you could tell, especially that Yoongi, Jungkook, and Jin, they were ready for some barbecue. So remember when I said that they were competing for barbecue items? Did I say that? That's what they were. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the winner of this whole game, of this segment before the barbecue, was Team Ooh Ah with 97 points from the karaoke machine. So they, in addition to what they got in the first game, they got 300 grams of meat, which is like 0.66 pounds.
Yum.
In second place was Team Ro Jewel with 90 points, and they earned instant rice, which, yay, rice.
Yeah. And so Rojul, that's Yoongi and Taeyang, right? And then the Ua is Jimin and J-Hope. Okay. Yeah.
And then in third place was Team Kim Seok-jin with 81 points, and they earned sausage, which I'm like, sausage sounds better than rice, but maybe, yeah. But also, I didn't watch the first episode, so maybe like Yoongi and
Taeyang already had meat.
Yeah, maybe Yoongi and Taeyang already had meat, so. Anyways, so then they go out and they have a barbecue, and I'm not going to go super in depth on this part just because of like time and because it's a lot of random conversation. It's a really good conversation. Like, they're just kind of hanging out and just having fun, talking back and forth, chit-chatting, and it's just kind of, it's one of those rare times in like watching BTS as a fan where you just kind of get to see them chill.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I just do want to point out that I love seeing them relax like this and just eating food and sharing with each other. They like end up sharing all of their food, and like no matter who got what, they kind of share back and forth. They do like this little playful banter about it, like you know, because they won whatever, but it's nice.
Yeah.
So during the barbecue, the staff gives them more food like yams and other meat and bean paste soup and like other things. But they will only give it to them if a member of each team does Iago 3 times. So for Jimin, he does it for his team, for him and J-Hope. But basically his 3 Iagos are all basically the same, except for in the last one, he stands up. And each time after he does it, he just looks like disappointed in himself. Like he just did that. Like, I don't know if
like
he just
kind of
felt
ashamed.
Yeah, I don't know if he just felt uncreative with his Iago or like if he just didn't want to do it, but he just looked disappointed. So Jin did it too. He did his like really quick and really cute. He just wanted the food. And then I just really have to point out that Taeyoung's Iago was by far the best because he did like 3 completely separate moves, like completely different poses, all with super cute high voices and just like these really cute looks on his face. And it was just hilariously juxtaposed with his deep 감사합니다, like once the food was granted to him. It just like he's like being
Yeah.
and then like right as the staff is like, okay, here you go, he's like 감사합니다, like so deep.
Yeah,
I
like
can't
doesn't
even
he like get up so quickly like after he does and he's like 감사합니다, like
yeah, he completely drops
Total
the
change.
act. Total change. It's just like it's too funny.
Yeah.
Another thing to point out about the barbecue is that the 2 youngest maknaes aren't cooking, which it's culturally normal for the youngest people to cook for the older people. But actually, Jin ends up cooking for his group, and Yoongi cooks for him and Taeyoung. And Seokjin even at one point protests this fact. He's like, why am I cooking? But then when they like question his cooking skills, he says, well, I know how to cook, I'm eat Jin. So then he just continues to cook, like he's just being stubborn. So anyways,
That sounds just like him.
just like him.
Like, I shouldn't have to do this, but I'm the only one who can cook, so I'm gonna cook anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they wrap up this episode by feeding the staff. They like walk over and they bring them stuff just on their chopsticks, you know, ask them what they want. It's super kind. And then they clean up and they're kind of also reminiscing about like the previous trips that they've taken. Like they talked about Hawaii a little bit. They talked about like, you know, just like other Run episodes a little bit. And it was just sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They just kind of reminisce a little bit together and just had that good conversation that you kind of mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah. So it's nice to see. And this is one of the reasons, like this episode and your episode too made me think like, this is why Run episodes are so great, because it's really, yes, sometimes they have to like do crazy games or things that can be stressful or whatever, but it's also like bonding time for them and time for them to be able to like have fun together or relax together, like going to an amusement park. That's fun. Or, you know, barbecuing, like they were barbecuing outside over campfires and like talking about their childhood. Like that's so nice and fun and kind and just, anyway, so it was just thinking about the opportunity that doing Run episodes, even though I'm sure it's a lot for them and it's like a lot of hours and filming and like I'm sure there's so many times where it's just like they just want to go home, but I bet they also have like sweet fun moments like that, you know?
Yeah. But what's really great about like the Run episodes is that they don't do a lot of the other like Korean talk shows that they used to do, and that a lot of K-pop groups still do. They kind of like go on these like different kind of shows and stuff. So they have their own series, and I think they know that this is a really good time to almost kind of hang out with ARMY. I think they kind of see it that way because they know we as ARMYs love to watch them and interact together off stage. And so I really do think that they enjoy doing Run episodes. Again, I think it's like obviously a lot of work, but I think the producers do a good job of making it fun for them and that they actually enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And it is like when I was watching today, I was thinking, wow, I could literally watch BTS do anything. Like it's hard to
Yeah.
pick. It's hard to pick which episode to talk about for like the Run replay series because I can't think of one that I don't like, you know, like I would
love all of
rewatch
them.
and talk about any of them. Yeah. So I'm so excited to get more in of season 3 of Run, and hopefully we can have some more Run episode or Run replays coming at you guys soon. Let us know if you liked it. Let us know what you thought about it. Let us know if you have a favorite Run episode that you want us to talk about, because you know it's hard to pick, like we said. Yeah, so we want to hear from you, so you can let us know anything, any of those things, or just really tell us about yourself as an ARMY, tell us about your story as an ARMY. We don't care, we want to hear from you. You can do that by emailing us. You can connect with us on Facebook. You can connect with us on Twitter and also on Instagram. You can find links for those in the description. And then we also have our Patreon and our PayPal if you want to donate to us just like on a one-time basis or monthly. So again, you can find links for our social media and those two, the PayPal and the Patreon, in the description.
In the description. Thanks for listening, and thanks for standing BTS.